Good morning, everybody. For some reason, what is it? Oh, maybe it was a delayed opening. I don't know. Lots of school buses out for 10:30 in the morning with students on them. So they're either picking up or dropping off. I can't see the bus all the way ahead, but who cares? Whatever. This is the way it is. This is what's going on, and we live with it. This is what we do. Good morning. 1037 anti-meridian, 14 degrees Fahrenheit, and let me tell you, you don't get used to the 14 degrees. You just don't. I don't. I've never dreamed or imagined that there would come a day where I would pray for the temperature to be 32 degrees or 35 or even 30. By God, I'd go sunbathing, much to the horror and delight of my neighbors. Barbara, hello. Barbara's the first one to make a comment today. Congratulations, Babs. Matt Gillespie, good morning to you. Gettys Nerds trademark, yes. Hashtag 2026. You're getting all the important ones in there. Kevin, good morning. 6 questions, good morning. Ken, good morning. Wunderman K, good morning. Robert, good morning. It's the old gang all in here. Mr. Gutty, how are you? Driving through Fairfield, Pennsylvania now, home of the Mansion House where we filmed our Tavern talks. Sunday, we're supposed to go in and I'm going to film the introductions to the Tavern talks. First time reading off a teleprompter, which I don't know how that's going to go. Never did it before. I stumble over my words when I read off a paper, but that's usually when I'm reading it cold or not quite warm. There's the Mansion House on the left right there with the balconies, and we'll see what the whatchamahoozy does. Teleprompter, how that works. I wrote this script and I have read it several times and tweaked it, so perhaps that will make it easier to deliver it in one take, because that's what we have to do. Well, we don't have to, but that's what I'm going to try to do, is deliver it in one take so there's not a lot of editing that needs done. Matt, thank you. I will grab myself a coffee. Gaslight, good morning. Mr. Gutty says, Pennsylvania man, should be cautious, I think. 6 questions. Instead of being cold and reading it, which would describe today? Yes, got you. I got you. Reading, because I said reading it cold. Yes. Thank you, Mike. Sorry. I always say this, and it's true. Typically, the minute I say something, I forget what I've said. So sometimes I have to go back in time and try to figure out what everybody's referring to. And then sometimes I do. Sometimes you got to remind me. And, this is, again, how it works. Life. Kevin, hi, Barbara Schultz. Kevin and Barbara, best buds. Phil, thank you very much for the super chat there, or the super. Thanks for the super. Edward, good morning. Barbara says, hey Matt, were you ever able to interview Stephen Lang? No. I've given up on that. There's a whole behind the scenes thing with that, but no, I've truly given up on that one there. It's actually exhausting interviewing famous people. Not because it's just they're a different energy. They're actors. They're a high energy. And you don't often get the opportunity, so you're sitting there, trying to think of like every possible thing that you could ask them, and then of course you really think of the good ones after it's over. Ken, your interview with Jackie was great. Thank you very much. Jackie's very easy to talk to. I really like her. I hope she can do a lot of good over there. It's not. She's not a dictator, so she can't just snap her fingers and have certain things done. There's filters that have to go through. So hopefully I don't interfere with her too much, because I remember saying this to someone else who was president during COVID, and I go, you're the Gettysburg Foundation. Like, you should be the biggest thing around here. Everybody should know you guys, and it should be synonymous with Gettysburg. Like, and he agreed. He's like, yeah, I know, we haven't done a good job of that, and I hope she's able to finally get the foundation to be where it should have been all along. And we were talking about the winter lecture situation, and admittedly, like, I was very bitter about that, not because it was snatched away from me, but because of the way it was done. And I harbored a lot of resentment, but I reached out to her in the fall, and I said, listen, there's no reason. You're new. You got a lot of new people in management underneath you. There's no reason that you guys should be held accountable or whatever for the sins of your fathers. That's not fair. And I said, so, I just want you to know, like, I've said some nasty things about your organization, and I really did not like it because of the way you handled the whole thing with me. However, that's like swallowing poison and trying to get someone else to feel the effects. It's only really hurting me. And I said, I think we have a lot more in common than we don't. And I think we should try to find ways to cooperate and work together. So we had that meeting, and it went well. And then I invited her to come on the show last week, because I'm like, it's about time. Actually, because Ken and Tim, who are from the New England area, went to Boston to see people from the foundation for an evening, and they said it was very good, and they really liked Jackie. And I go, you know what? I told her that I'd invite her on after the new year, and that reminded me, and I did. So we had her on. She was good. But anyway, the one thing I said, though, was that, all is right with the world that they're doing the video of the lectures, because there should have never been a void for me to step into. I'm glad there was, because that certainly helped content-wise for a while, but it never should have been. Like, no one should have ever let that should have been a priority at the foundation all along. And now it is, and I'm glad it took me doing it well to get them to wake up. But so all is right. That's the way it should have been, and that's the way it should be from here on out, and that's good. And so Jackie's very nice. You can talk to her, and you can be very honest, and she doesn't hold it against you, which is uncommon around here. Top of the morning, BKW. Mr. Gutty, difficult space to navigate, but it sounds like you handled things well. Well, not all along, but in the end, I think I did because I meant it. I had to come around. I had to let the hate burn off, and I had to basically counsel myself. Like, I had to step outside my feelings and look at it rationally and be like, all right, look, can you blame them? And the answer is no. I couldn't blame them. That was their job. That is what they should have been doing. And the park gave me that opportunity that one year. And they got territorial, and anybody else would in their position. So, okay, can't blame them there. And then it also helped me put myself back into perspective. And it's like, you're not important around here. There's people who are, what's the word? Established, long-standing institutions that can't be challenged. And they'll play nice for a while, but at the end of the day, the minute they realize there's something that they don't get about you that other people do, they see it as a threat, and then it's over. And that is the way of the world, and that's completely fine and completely normal. And so it helped me kind of put everything back into perspective, and that's why I kind of stopped doing things locally. The overwhelming viewership and support comes from without, not from within Gettysburg. So you go where the love is, ladies and gentlemen. You go where the love is. Six Questions says, you got burned and you felt like you got burned. It is understandable that you were upset. Yeah, I just don't like to be that. I don't like to get that way. It's like it could have completely gone a different way had it been handled a different way. Like, I would have been like, okay, that's fine. It's like, it's what I've always said, to certain people throughout my life. It's not what you say, it's how you say it. So in this case, it's not what they did, it's how they did it. That was the problem for me. Because to be honest with you, I had 7-day weeks, January and February. And 2 of those days are done cramming an edit in so that the turnaround was quick. And by the end of the season, like, I couldn't see straight. That was the fastest winter. I really would have appreciated it now, because this January has taken 3 months to get through. And when I was going to the lectures, it gave me something to look forward to, and it made the weekends fly by, and it was fun, and it was work, but and it was worth it, but it was a lot. It was a lot. Good point. 6Q. Matt came around and handled it in an excellent manner. Yes, I'm going on my peacekeeping mission now. Not peacekeeping. Olive branch extending mission now. We'll see how that works. So far, so good. Hey, 60-second, how are you? Glad to see you have sunshine on your side of the state, too. Yes. It's sunny, which has brought the temperature up to a blistering and blustery, which I think are actually different things, 15 degrees. Six Question says, this is the best year to attend the Chambersburg Ice Fest. Very little chance sculptures will melt. Yeah, that's true. What is that? I've never heard of that. Is that a thing? When is it? Ice sculptures are cool. They had them for the Christmas festival here. And it was, what's the word I'm looking for? It was cool because that's what it was. Because they didn't melt, because we had freezing temperatures since November. So they stuck around. Stuck up, and stuck down. No wonder they called it jump around. It's easier to get off the tongue. Are you able to be booked as a guide yet? Six Questions. Lynn's planning on being there 6/29 July. Well, let me answer for you. By that time, he will be. But right now, he has not taken his oral exam. Maybe I should, I can't do that. I can't, can I? No. Six Questions. I should make you a moderator so that you can make a comment and pin it to the top, so that everybody knows right away what your guide exam status is. Poor Six Questions. He's got to wait forever and a day. Forever and a day. And everybody keeps asking him, reopening the wound. Reopening. We should just have a pinned comment there that says Six Questions, oral exam date TBD. You know what we should do is when Mike does get his license, we should do a special tour, his I guess it's not inaugural because he probably will have done a few tours before then as a licensed guide, but it's like his christening. Like when you christen a ship, we'll take him out on the battlefield, he'll give us a tour, and we'll whack him on the head with a champagne bottle. Oh, Mike, I don't know. You were so Barbara asked if Mike got the highest score in the exam, and he said no, but I was in the top 3. How come you didn't tell me that, Mike? Good Lord. Good for you. I was in the bottom 3. And believe it or not, guys who left after the first half of the tour got a higher score than I did. Mike, all right, it looks like Mike likes the idea of hitting him with a champagne. Maybe we won't hit you with a champagne bottle. We'll just spray it on your head. Something like that. Jeff Pasnick thinks it's a great idea to do that tour. 60 Seconds says, don't inflict any injuries. He's prone to them as it is. How you doing these days, 6Q? Valerie, that's amazing. Good job, 6Q. Yeah, that is amazing. I don't think I've ever known anybody who was in the top 3 of anything. I usually pal around with the dregs. Mr. Gutty says, and Rohan will answer, congrats on your placement, it's awesome. And Ken says, bag of Little Ground Top. You know, there's nothing that gets me through the winter quite like a piping hot cup of Little Ground Top. Oh, God. You know, as I was driving in before I started the video, I was rocking out to a little Andy Gibb. I actually was, but it sounds so ridiculous when I hear myself say it out loud. Okay, here's Pickett's Charge, ladies and gentlemen. Look at that. Nice lines. The clouds are leading us into the center of the frame almost. Let's get in there. There we are, sort of, somewhat. It's better the first way. Anyway, there it is. I think I'd much rather cross that field in the dead of summer than in the stupid of winter. Valerie says the battlefield is beautiful. Project Pass says looks like a beautiful day. Looks like one, yes sir. From Florida, of course. Yeah, right. Exactly. Exactly there, Jimmy boy. Mr. Gutty says, Pucho Pine says, God bless them boys. Mr. Gutty says, man, so wild seeing it with all the snow. Imagine trudging a mile through that. No sirree. And the feeling that I have for you is more and stronger. Take it from me. The snow. So I was coming down my mountain today, and I noticed something that I've never noticed before, and I noticed it because of the snow. So coming down the mountain, I can see across the valley to. It's not quite another mountain, but it's a hill. I know it's another mountain. It's just the lower part. Anyway, usually in the summer you can't see very far because the trees are leafed out and block it. And in the winter you can see a little bit, not everything, unless there's a blanket of snow on the ground. And then I noticed a house, a big house, like a log cabin type of house, that obviously has been there all along, but was not very visible when there's no snow on the ground. And that reminded me of a tour we took with the great Chaz Fennell back in, oh God, I don't remember when that was, 2019, 2021, 2020, somewhere around there. Early days of AG. And we were on Culp's Hill. There was snow on the ground, not quite this disgusting, but snow nonetheless. And what was it? Oh yeah, so I was able to see Powers Hill through the trees because the snow made it stand out. And everything blends together in the winter when there's no snow on the ground, right? It's all basically with the same drab color, but that white on the ground makes it really stand out. So I was like, say, Chaz, what's that over there? And he goes, oh, that's Powers Hill. And I was like, oh. And that was the first time I realized how close everything is. And you know how we always say the time to come here is in the winter time because you can see through the trees, the crops aren't up, there's not 10-foot high corn everywhere, which blocks your view and throws off the topography. And so, yeah, if you can come in the winter and catch it in a snow, you got to wait for the snow to, you need a day like today. So you need the snow already on the ground and bright sun. You really can see a lot. And it really helps put the ground in perspective for you. So that's your friendly little piece of advice for today. Oh, did I lose sound? Okay, good. It's still all right. I thought I might have not noticed that I lost the signal. Whoa, Bob. $50. Thank you very much, sir. Let me stop and read this here. You deserve that there. Longtime silent podcast listener. Just happened to catch this live stream today. Just wanted to thank you for all your work, effort, enthusiasm, and focus over the years. My heartfelt appreciation. Bob Passamenti, PA. Thank you very much, Bob. I really appreciate that. That is nice. Very nice. I'm touched. I appreciate that. See, every time I wake up with the thought of I think I have to quit, I get a moment like that. Damn you, Bob. No, thank you very much. So, we're on Sickles Avenue here. And I don't know why, because it used to not always happen, but now all of a sudden, starting, I don't know, 8 months ago or so, it seemed that when we would go down towards Devil's Den, Valley of Death, that whole area there, we would lose signal. And so I just stopped going that way, because then it's like, oh, then I got to start again, and it's just a pain in the butt. So I kind of go this way, which sucks, but And what's weird is if I started a stream from down there, it probably would be okay. I wish I understood how cell phones worked. Any icebergs in Lake Crawford? No icebergs, but it is frozen. I wonder if people will go ice skating. We certainly know that you can fish there. So can you ice skate there? That's I don't think you can. I would not encourage trying. Well, although it's on the water, it's not on the land. And we know the park doesn't control the waterways, which is why you can fish if you have a license. So then that would mean you can ice skate if you have the ice skates. I don't know. I still wouldn't try it. Because then you got the whole wildlife thing, danger them. Just you know what? Don't be an ass, right? Don't even try. Forget I said it. Wonder Monkey says, almost like Bob feels you do better than everybody else. Isn't that an interesting theory? Well, that would be amazing if people thought that, but I don't think that is the prevailing mythology. Yeah, but thank you, Wonder Monkey. That's very nice of you to say. Six Questions says, Project Past, I could set up a hockey game, but I think it would need a permit from the park. I think it would. Gigi Donald says, imagine a world where you have to have permission to enjoy nature. Shaking my head, I know. Well, we do allow the licensing of certain rights that we have. So we're a little... I think the default position of man is that he wants to be told what to do, and he wants to ask permission. I think that's what it is, because otherwise human history would have had a personal liberty long before we came around. And it would have been everywhere. Instead, we see the opposite. So I don't think people like to be free, if you get down to it. Mr. Gutty with $10. Thank you very much. If all of our media, hold on. If all of our media was as informative and at the same time entertaining as what you do, we would all be better off and a lot more empathetic than we seem to be these days. Well, that's very kind of you too, sir. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Is that the difference, do you think, is the, when you said empathetic, before I ask you your question, why did you choose that word in relation to your comment? Oh man, it is. I just see Mike Lentz just said that he's doing okay, trying to stay warm. Man, I worked from home most of the week. Just absolutely unable to bring myself to get away from my fire. And I was like, F it, I'm staying home and I'm working on the computer at home. I'm editing here. But I just could not get into it. And I know I'm not alone in this. Everybody seems to be dragging ass and really having a hard time getting into work. Like getting into working, I should say. Like getting their mind around it. It's, you know, it's tough. Oh yeah, Mike, I'm right. You're at work. And you are inside outside, right? You go back and forth from inside and outside. Or from inside to outside. That's exhausting. Being out in the cold. Being out in the heat is too. But the cold, like, you just stand there and you exhaust yourself trying to get warm. Mr. Gutty says, well, I think you helped bring out the humanity of the Civil War. Thank you. I was hoping you'd say that because that is my goal. Beyond interviewing folks who are focused on human interest history, you're able to bring it out of those who may be more focused on the battle. Yeah. Good. Okay. I'm glad you noticed. Because that's what I'm trying to do. But, you know, and for myself, like, I'm trying to keep reminding myself. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to shatter the movie view of history. You know, if it's World War II, you know, I don't want to look at The Longest Day. I want to look at Saving Private Ryan and Band of Brothers, and I want to hone in on the horror of it, because that's what it is to me. All the other bullshit, whatever. It's a horror show, and it's the destruction of human lives over usually something really stupid and avoidable. And and it's funny too, because there's a lot of times, when I have a historian in, and I'll interrupt to make a human point, or an empathetic, whatever you want to call it, point about, well, imagine doing that, and blah 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 blah. The historian, who, they're academics, right? And the last thing academics seem to really focus on is the humanity of history. Yeah, they'll pay lip service to it, but they really, to my what's the word? Well, I don't sense that. I don't sense that they actually mean it, or they do, but maybe they've given that talk and made that point so many times that they no longer feel it when they say it, and so it comes off as, just emotionless. But so I do it for me, so that I don't forget, and then I'm hoping that there are empathetic people in the audience who pick up on it and don't roll their eyes at it and get annoyed by it, but actually make them think, and maybe not see things in the movie version, and see things as close to the reality as we can get for people who haven't experienced it.